And let's check that we are live. Which we should be. I suspect. There we go. It looks like we are live. I'm gonna do the little social post. Then we're gonna hang out on the dramatic title screen while I finish eating my ice cream and get ready for Dragon Age. Because I'm very ready and prepared for stream. I probably could have spent 10 minutes finishing eating this before starting the stream, but where would the fun in that have been? There we go. I have to remember to open the other chat window. For some reason, it's opened huge and in a place I can't reach. There we go. Aha. I fixed the combined chat so it's the correct size. Hey, Twilight Prince, how are you doing? How's everyone doing? I have ice cream in front of me, I'm doing alright. I am ready to show people some recordings of me playing Dragon Age, because I wanted to play some Dragon Age off stream to do some unimportant side quests. Then I accidentally did a couple that were like kind of relevant. So I was like, I'll just get video of them. We can chat over them. The BT, I don't have the tattoo done yet. I gotta find like a good week coming up where I got some time. It might be. I might message my tattoo person next week and see what availability they got before the end of the year. I think it's nearly time. I think it's nearly time for me to get the tattoo done. What flavor? Marshmallow s'mores. Chocolate and marshmallow and graham cracker ice cream. Just some good ass ice cream. Right, before we jump in, I'm gonna go to the media bit where I take gameplay recordings. And I'm gonna find recordings that are important to show on screen. I'm gonna remember which ones are which. Let's see, reminders. What did I do? So I did some quests around Treviso, the Shadow the Antivan Crow's place, my sort of my faction, as it were. And there was a quest that I don't remember ever encountering when Treviso got wrecked. I'm not too worried about it, but it was oh, there's maybe some people, some Antivan Crows and some Antarm working together, I think was the gist of it.
Excellent timing, Rook. I've news about our Venatori spy and Crow turncoat. I have deciphered the code from the notes you found. Our friends will meet soon. They plan to take a gondola to rendezvous in the market.
And you want me to go look for a trail and hunt down these spies?
Precisely. Chance Candide is too conspicuous. You'll blend into the comings and goings seamlessly.
Yeah, so this was the little quest I got. Also, hey, Max Angor, thanks for saying what I do. It confirms that I am actually a consultant, even if I don't make a dime doing it. Hey, you don't have to be making money doing it to be doing the thing. The thing you do is consultancy. Hell yeah, from the sounds of it. BT says, mystery tattoo prediction, a gingerbread person fighting the concept of an aristocracy. Sounds fun. Yeah, so I did this quest, and it turned out like the gist of it was one of the Antarm and an Antivan Crow were dating. And that's why they were meeting up. They weren't doing any spy shit, so I was like, hey, get out of here, you're being rumbled, but like, go enjoy your love. So I helped them escape this little cult, and then I did some fights. Twilight Prince says, I'm a novice to Dragon Age, played a bit of Origins years ago, didn't get far. Is each game its own separate story like Final Fantasy, or the games connected? The games are connected, but you can kind of jump into them as standalone things. Like, all you really need to know from Inquisition that's relevant to this is there's a guy called Solus, you thought he was your friend, turned out he was the elven god of lies and deceit, and he's trying to tear a hole between universes because he thinks that'll make heaven for elves be a thing again. That's literally everything you might want to know. He looks kind of like an egg. He's got a completely shaved head and pointy ears. He looks like an egg. If you know that much, you know enough to jump into Veilguard. So this was the thing I accidentally stumbled into, which is I started fighting these,
Corruption, undead.
big
I'd say we
corrupted
found out who's
fancy
responsible.
spirits. And I'll show you the fights I did against them. Because it's 3 kind of unique boss fights against spooky, ominous undead folks in the Crossroads. Because I'll show you today what these fights led to, and I accidentally triggered the first one, and I was like, I've not triggered any of the plot of why these are interesting, so this gives me time to finish eating my ice cream. I fought Betrayal of Felasan.
That's my girl.
These are pretty fun fights. They range from like level 30 to 40 across them, and they're definitely some of the higher level bosses you can stumble across at this point. They have a whole mechanic of trying to heal themselves, so you've got to beat down their blue barrier while they're in this red orb. And if you successfully take down the red orb before they manage to heal, you can get like quite a bit of stun time on them, which is cool. Actually, saw that quite a bit of stuff. I'm not necessarily going to show the whole fight for all 3 of these, but I wanted to show them off a little bit because they're cool fights, and each of these 3 fights gets you in like a key to an ominous door that we're going to open today on stream. I like that they're not overly difficult. Like, they're challenging, but they feel like very fair boss fights. I like a good humanoid, not too many additional summons, one-on-one dude kind of boss fight.
It's weakening the fade tear. Keep going.
And there's a couple of little skeletons, but really don't need to worry about them. Ooh, the BG says, I finally got around to playing Vampire Survivors. How are you finding it? How are you getting on with that sensory overwhelming chaos of a video game? Oh yeah, we'll have this fight out in no time. Addictive. Yeah, it kind of gets its hooks in you. And there is so much game for so little money. Anytime you think you're done with it, it's like, I could spend like £2 and have another DLC for another X number of hours. Nearly done with my ice cream, then I can stop having my hands on screen so it looks like I'm faking. At the moment, it looks like I'm one of those people who fakes doing a world record speedrun on stream but forgets their hands are meant to be out of shot to pretend I'm gaming. So I believe the one bit of lore that's kind of said about these boss fights early on is that they might be representations of some kind of negative emotions of Solus. Because they're hanging out in his crossroads.
The fade tear in that revenant. All that's left is its essence.
Yeah. So this glowing, ominous essence that comes from this boss fight.
The revenant's essence feels darker, more powerful. It must be protecting something big.
Yeah,
We should
so
look around for a door it might fit.
I know where the door is. We're gonna go look at that door today. So I went and found a second one.
Those blighted
They're all
fade
sort of like boss fights
We
of
close the last one. We can do this.
big dudes sat on a
Your
ominous,
gods give you
spooky
that
throne.
Get up and fight.
They each have their own gimmicks. We'll see a little bit of this one's gimmick. He throws walls of thorns, like vines and thorns at you. We can skim some of the boss fight, but we'll do enough to show some of like his unique gimmick. Oh yeah, he's level 37, the last was 32, so as you can see, they're decently sturdy, but this time I came in with a bit of a better build for actually taking them down. I did a lot of early damage. His health was a lot slower to go down, but I got his barrier down quick.
Damn thing's healing itself again. That means it's weakening the fade tear. Stay on it.
I want him to do his let's skim forward a bit. Yeah, his is sort of vine magic. He summons spooky spines, spikes out of the floor. Limits your ability to get around the boss fight a little bit. We'll skim forward a little. You get the gist. Took about 5 minutes. He's his high level animal. We got him. Just in time for me to finish my ice cream.
Now let's see what they've got.
The Fade Tear and the Revenant are both gone. And the Revenant left its essence behind, like before. These Revenants aren't just undead. There's something more.
The caretaker said something about regrets.
Soulless. He left so many of his memories in the crossroads. Maybe the gods raised the worst of them as watchdogs. Makes sense. What's harder to face than your most painful? Soulless. He left so many of his memories in the crossroads.
Sorry about that.
Maybe the gods
Controller.
raised the worst of them as watchdogs. Makes sense. What's harder to face than your most painful
So
memories?
these seem to be Solus's regrets. We'll find out what that means in a little bit.
Fate's fine. At least the spirits there don't get in a body.
Yeah, so I was looking for
What
the third one of these boss fights, and I accidentally walked into a fun new thing we're going to encounter today. This is going to be the big focus of the start of today's stream. Is sometimes you'll just accidentally walk into one of Solus's memories, back during a time where he had hair still. So,
This doesn't feel like
for the
a
next
fate.
6 minutes,
More like
Solus
a
is going to
dream,
have hair.
or-
So look forward to that.
Andaran Atishan, Lassa Gilan.
Spirits, Fade friends, come forth. Enter the circle. Reveal yourselves.
Solus? Is that him?
Not the real one.
Spirits, the Dread Wolf asks for your assistance on a crucial mission.
Does he think I'm one of these spirits?
The false gods, the Evanuris, have overreached. I shall humble them. Within this citadel lies a relic, with the power to imprison even a god.
Look at him having
I
hair.
can bring their tyranny to
Look
an
at him
end
not looking like an
forever.
egg.
You are spirits of chaos, disorder, and disruption. We ask you to disrupt the Citadel's defenses.
So this
Give
is
us the opening to get that relic. For freedom!
this is Solus and his elf buddy being like, hey,
We're seeing
peace-loving
the past when
ghosts,
Solus sent
I
this
need you to be my army.
spirit
Come be my army
against
against
the gods.
Gillenane and...
We're spirits of
Elganon.
disruption. Let's act like it.
Yes.
So, we got to play the part of one of these spirits for a little bit, go and be part of Solus's war. See the
Memories are
Evanuris
real enough to
humbled.
sting.
Yeah, we are living through a memory. We are spirits of chaos fighting against Elganon and Gilnenane's forces. We'll skim forward a little.
Almost through to their citadel. The Evanurs know it.
They've changed their plans. Elganon may be a tyrant, but he is not a fool. That means the relic is genuine. We are close, and Elganon is afraid. Put our strongest in the vanguard. Prepare to breach the citadel. It will not be easy, but we shall win the day.
Look at Solus like being a ruthless
Lead the charge
military
and do what
leader.
you do best. Whatever champions the gods send against you, bring them down.
He's not nearly the ooh, soft boy, innocent, I've never done anything wrong lad that he tries to imply. Being a whole little military leader.
You must hold fast.
Yeah, we fight against big army on the bridge. Solus keeps shouting at us to do better. And then big laser blast comes down. BioWare loves a big laser blast. And this is our bit of plot.
Disruption fought to the last, and it was all for nothing. We couldn't take the Citadel.
Wait,
Hey, Thimba.
that body's me?
It was not for nothing, my friend. The distraction the spirits gave us allowed our agents to retrieve the relic.
Distraction?
No force could have breached their citadel. But it was necessary for the enemy to believe we were committed.
Let's stop and take this in for a second. Solus told an army of spirits, hey, go storm the Citadel. I believe in you. You can make it in there. You getting into that Citadel will help save everyone. And then at the end he's like, nah, that was a distraction. I needed them to believe they could do it. And I needed, like, the gods to believe I was committed to making them do it. But they were just a distraction so I could get a thing. All those spirits that got slaughtered, yeah, I knew they had no chance of getting in, that they were on a fool's errand. I was sending them to their death. But I did get the thing, though, so... It's almost like Solus. Little bit of a dick.
A heavy
Hey,
sacrifice,
Artisynth.
but one that gave us a real chance to end the war.
You knowingly sent all those spirits to their deaths. Solus, we're supposed to be better than that.
They died true to their nature, doing what they loved, Falasan.
They didn't die
Let
knowing.
that be a comfort. That this war did not corrupt them into something different from what they were supposed to be.
You didn't give them a chance to change their nature. Use their nature as an excuse to put them to death.
Ruse. That's all it was. By this point, Solus didn't care who he sacrificed if it meant stopping the Evanurus.
Doesn't matter how sad you are about doing evil crap if you keep doing it.
The
So,
memories sort of condensed.
we got a
into that
wolf
statuette.
statue. We gotta go
Maybe
find
there's
some
more
more
to
wolf
this.
statues. That's another thing we're doing today, is we're getting wolf
The
statues.
mortal world is just as off-putting to some spirits as the Fade is to you, Tash.
Fade's
There we go. We are nearly caught up on the things I stumbled upon. The other thing that kept happening is every time I ran through the crossroads, I kept getting phone calls of essentially Elganon and Gillenane just chatting shit. So there's a couple of those, but I think this was...
troubling
Yeah, this was the
number of
last of
those.
those
Such
three boss fights that will open a door. So, I'll show a little bit of this. Terra says, lore fact, I love Thalassen. The general is called Solus's slow arrow. In the first game, there's a lore story about the slow arrow of the Dread Wolf. It's interesting. I would have to read the story again to see its significance. Ooh! So yeah, I'll show a little bit of this one. This one's interesting because before fighting the boss, you have to fight an undead horde, so you've got to fight like waves and waves of enemies before this third boss will even deign to come down and face you. So I'll skim ahead a little bit. Eventually, Fall of the Protector comes down for us to fight. We fought enough of his little minions. He's an ice buddy. Skim ahead a little bit because he is level 42. We are not that high a level. He took some real chipping away at to take him down. Look at little skeleton crap. He made everything dark. Eventually we took him down. Here he is. Ooh, Thimba, congrats on getting some Blue Sky folks going. Yeah, there we go. One more hit, I think I'm there, but I went and got health just to be safe. And the fight was done.
It's gone. And the Fade Tear, too. That'll slow down the gods' plans, at least on this island. Another Fade Tear closed. Another Revenant destroyed. And another essence gained. It makes 3 essences. We should start look. Every one of these gets us a little farther.
Shagtastic, I've seen the shiny Rayquaza Terror Raid exists. I don't know how long it's running for. I know that you can only catch one during them. I've not made the time to do it yet, but I need to do it at some point, because I think I'm gonna guess it's only running for a week, so probably until Wednesday or Thursday next week would be my guess. I know it exists. That's about as far as I know right now. So I'm just going to very quickly catch these couple of calls from Elganon and Gildanane that we use drop in on. Then I think we are caught up on the things I accidentally did off stream. When I stop accidentally skipping things with my controller.
Untold years asleep, only to see our sanctums defiled.
Oh, it goes on into January. Oh, I'm fine then. I have it on my calendar to make time for.
By cast-offs and mortals. We must secure the Alluvians.
We shall. The Ontom are uneasy in the crossroads, but they know their duty.
If they fail, give the best preserve to me for improvement.
So the gods are actively trying to break into the crossroads. And then we had one more that we snuck in on.
The voices again.
It hasn't even started yet. The 19th was 3 days ago. Has it not started? Yeah, surely the 19th was 3 days ago.
So much more could be accomplished from the Ventheneros. Solus raised that beacon.
Oh, 19th of December. Okay, then I had the wrong month in my
land.
calendar, I guess.
The disrespect.
I thought I was
Do not
late to the
dwell
party.
upon it, Elganon. The lighthouse is but one wonder we shall reclaim.
Well, thank you for letting me know, so I
Will
don't
be
waste time trying to do it
remade,
tomorrow.
and all traces of Fen'Harel erased from its walls.
So yeah, that's the bits of lore that happened while I was, mucking about in the crossroads. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go get those other bits of Solus memory, and then go plug them all into the lighthouse and see those bits of plot.
Is
Actually,
this
you know
the
what?
Fade's memory of a real sanctum? Or a
Oh yeah, this
copied
is. I think this is where one of those Solus memories might be this way.
More undead.
I
Not
might be
good.
wrong.
God must have plans for them.
Actually, yeah, let's go in the journal. We want regrets of the Dreadwolf. We need leading to those. Are any of them around here? We'll find
Here, too.
out. Gotta remember, as I do at the start of every play session, that I have companion abilities I could be using. No, I think I'm just here for treasure. Oh well. I can get some cool treasure and go grab Solus's memories in a minute. I don't think they're going anywhere. Yeah, Terra, look, I'm not gonna deny, like, I recognize that people have legitimate complaints about this game, and I understand that. But I also do think a lot of people were exaggerating their feelings on this game. I say as an impartial and definitely not biased opinion person.
Down.
Since when did the Antom fight alongside undead?
Gods must have forced the Antom to do it. They wouldn't like undead any more than I do.
Yeah, we'll put that on Balara. Oh, this is one of these statues that gives me stats. I'll take a stat thing. Smash all the little floating projectile things. Plus 100 health. Hell yeah, that was definitely worth coming to visit. Right, should we go get Solus's memories, or shall I show you what's behind the defeat those 3 bosses door? We can do either of those right now. What am I close to? Okay, 2 things are on this island. Let's hop over here. Let's get some Solus memories collected. Okay. Three bosses? Fuck it, let's look at the 3 bosses door. I think that is, I believe, back here. We can go do this. Right, so the 3 bosses door is this one over here, near the start of the crossroads. I warn you now, this thing is probably going to kick my ass.
That must be why the Revenants were raised, to keep that door sealed. Time to see what the gods are hiding in there.
Well, let's give it a look. Let's at least have a look at this.
This is an unclean place, even beyond the presence of the Blight.
Tara, I'm glad that you feel like there's few retcons and lots of good little details. There are folks who worked on this game who've been writing, like, wrote on past games, but also have been writing, like, the official novels for years, and, like, are pretty immersed in that universe. So, this is big and ominous.
There, it's been feeding on the Blight.
It is level 50, which I believe is the level cap. And I'm level, for reference, let's have a look, I think like 35, maybe? 37. Yeah, I don't think this is going to go well for me. My ultimate took off maybe half of its shield. Actually, maybe I... Let's see. How spicy am I feeling today? How doable does this feel? Let's fucking give it a go. Let's go for it. Okay, Emmerich is going to be on dedicated healer. Gosh, you can actually do attacks.
They've got us at range.
Ooh, we might get a stun. I'm not doing terribly. Could have been doing worse for sure. That's what, maybe a fifth of the way? Fine, it's fine. I'm warming up, I'm warming up. Honestly, this could be going way worse than it is. Now, I think this is going to plunge me into darkness and separate me from my companion abilities, like, halfway through. Not halfway through, like, now. So this is where the problems are going to start arising, because I won't be able to rely on Emmerich as being my heal. And this is where I'm going to start having some trouble, but I'm going to try and brute force through this bit. There are a couple of healing potion jars I can get from the environment if I need to. How much am I on my pro gamer energy today? I think if I do enough damage to it, eventually the darkness will dissipate. And I will get to have my companions back again. Yeah, so now you're in darkness, you're in fire mode. Oh, I got a stun. Come on. Come on. Right, to quickly read from chat. What surprised me about this game is how little the Templar Order is in it. We only see Minrath as Templars, and they have very little power compared to the Templars in other parts of Thedas. There's only a couple of mentions of them in quests. Considering how much 2 and Inquisition was about the Templars' subjugation of mages, I think they wanted to not focus on it to figure out what they do with them in the series in the future. Yeah, I think part of it was just, if we're setting it in the other half of Thedas that we've never really gotten a chance to see, I think they wanted to avoid the issue that Mass Effect Andromeda had, which is you move to a new setting on the other side of the galaxy but it's the same groups that you already know having the same fights you already know. They're like, no, if we're going to a new setting, we should kind of be focusing on different faction conflicts a bit. Like, that's the vibe I get. Oh, come on. I just need the light to come back on, and I'll be doing okay. Okay, I'm gonna fight this thing in the dark as best I can. Fight it from a distance. Let me go. I'm doing pretty alright at this fight, honestly. I did not think I would do this well at it. I've only got one heal left, and we're not even halfway through the fight, which isn't great. Oh, Emmerich, you're back. Oh, heal me, boy. Oh, I have my dedicated healer back for a bit. I love that for me. How far am I into this playthrough on stream? We've done Weiss out. We were like, the companions were like, we all need to do our companion quests. So we're doing that. We're at the bit where we start doing all the big companion quests, but we're only a little ways into there. We are currently going around the crossroads, collecting soulless memories, and fighting this dragon from unlocking a door with 3 remnants. I would guess I'm like halfway, a little over halfway through the game, would be my guess. Maybe 2/3? Like halfway through the plot, maybe. Hard to know precisely. Ooh. You know what? You can actually do an attack, Emmerich, this time. So things down. Ah, great swayer man. Thank you. It's lovely to catch you here on stream. Game's going well. I'm obviously biased because I worked on the game, so you can't believe anything I say. But I fucking love this game. I think it's amazing. It's my favorite BioWare thing in a long time, and I'm so into it. Anyway, we're fighting a dragon we're super underleveled for, and I'm having a fucking great time doing it. I'm gonna kill this level 50 dragon at level, like, 35, because I'm just that good at video games today. Today I'm having a day where my body will let me do what I'm trying to do. They're rare, and I've got to take the wins where I can get them. Okay, at some point, I'm going to need... Oh, you're doing lightning attacks now. Okay, I'm going to need to get those other 2 healing jars that are somewhere around this battlefield. Because I can't rely on Emmerich's healing right now. I have 1 revive. I think Emmerich gives me a revive right now. Oh, my hide from him rune doesn't work because it's a big enemy, right? Okay, I need to find those healing jars. One of them is right here. That's perfect. Okay. Right now, my entire goal is stay alive long enough that the darkness fades and I can have Emmerich's heals back again. Oh, one of the heals is behind. It's over there. Yeah, if I can just dash. Okay, we healed up again. I never know whether it's timing based or amount of damage I've dealt to them based that the darkness goes away. I don't know whether it's an amount of time I have to stay alive or an amount of damage I have to deal to them. So close to getting that additional stun in. It's the lightning in the dark without my healer that's where I'm gonna struggle here. Okay, I have a revive. I've got a pretty good way in before needing the revive. Oh, the darkness. The darkness is fading. I have Emmerich for heals again. Okay, I'm gonna find my dodges. Laura's second phase, this boss is done for. Right? Not ready for second phase. Got the flaming ice lightning Kamehameha for you. Okay, keep Emmerich available for the heal. Don't go for the combos. As nice as the damage would be, we're too far into this fight to give up now. Longevity is the name of the game. Focus on staying alive rather than trying to rush to get the damage in. Another healing potion I could go get. If I can get this dragon to ignore me for a second. Focus on the others. I don't think the rune will distract it. Okay, Emmerich heal. I have a potion in my pocket now. That is good. That is an improvement. Homie turns into a railgun when he starts flying. 100%. This dragon has a really fun moveset. Oh, okay. That's fine, we use the heal now. If I lose this now, I'm gonna be frustrated. I'm so close. The sheer temptation to turn on invincibility if I get right toward the end of this, just so I don't lose it at the last minute. Because I've done such a good run on this. Okay, heal. Do the blast. I'm going to try and avoid it. I'm going to try... I think the problem is going to be if we go into darkness again. If we get pulled into darkness again, I think that might be me done for. But if we can stay in the light, Emmerich's heals might just be enough. Dodge these. Emmerich, heal. In we go. We do the Kamehameha Blast. Oh, we're so close. I might actually do it. Oh, and the stun. Oh. on, we're so close, we're so close.
I'm ready.
Pro gamer moves right there. Oh,
Corruption staunched.
only 15 levels above me.
Cease their gnawing. The crossroads heals. A sanctum renewed, dweller. As is needed.
We did it. That dragon must have been the god's final weapon to take the crossroads.
Now, how many levels am I going to gain for this?
And we put down another blighted dragon. Chakra Toebra.
Let's go.
Ooh, and this, I think, is where we get a, Oh, here's the thing. In theory, this is the toughest boss in the game. There are bosses I find harder than this. And you know what? That was a good level of challenge for me. I had fun with that. And I'm not stressing on stream. I had a fun time there. Maybe we turn it up? I'm not going to stress about turning it up this minute. I might do before the stream's up, but
They interrupt, as predicted, as expected, as hoped.
What was that?
Learn, adapt, triumph.
Aha! Not at all ominous. I came here sometimes when I needed to be by myself. Not Solus's friend Felasan. Not the slow arrow of the rebellion, just me. He hasn't been right since what happened with Mythal. He's planning something with the dagger. And if it were a good idea, he would have told me. Damn it, Solus. I'm with you as long as we're protecting the innocent from the powerful, but you make it hard sometimes. What's in the box? What do I win? The last resort. Anytime you use an ability that hits an enemy, gain 20% damage and lose minus 20% to your resistances. If you defend or dodge, the bonus is reset. I'm sure there are some fascinating builds you can make with that.
To other shores.
Terra says, I love how, canonically, Tarsh speaks Quillet with a broken Quillet with an accent. Right? There's some really nice touches. Right, so we gotta go get some of these memories. We're gonna go get some of Solus's old memories. And then we're gonna go hang out in the lighthouse and, like, learn about all of Solus's dirty little secrets. Today is What's Up with Solus Day. Today is about finding out what the hell's up with Solus. And we're gonna do it. We're gonna learn all his little secrets. Yes, we're gonna learn about every terrible, terrible, terrible decision Solus ever made that fucked up his life and the lives of everyone around him. It's gonna be a fun time. I'm honestly looking forward to it. Oh, this build's really coming into its own. I'm loving this build now that it has many of its components properly. Yeah, just a thousands of years old little guy.
Are they like dog breeds?
No. Dogs are smaller.
What I mean is, a Ferelden Mabari and an Anderfell's giant schnauzer look quite different, but could still mate.
Oh, yeah. Different breeds of dragons mate all the time. That's how we got the ones that breathe lightning or ice. What's a giant schnauzer?
A very large dog. Anderfell's farmers use them to protect
I did
livestock
pick a
from
subclass,
darkspawn.
yes.
There was a lovely children's book about one. Hugo, the Warden Schnauzer.
Huh. Nice.
What's it called? The Stormblade? Spellblade? The one that gives me all the cool lightning powers.
Over there.
Right.
Another entryway.
Let's go look at more of Solus's dirty little secrets.
It's happening again. We're in another of Solus's memories. Remember last time? The past really can still hurt you.
Hugo is a
Glad
great
you made
pet
it
name.
here safely. I didn't love our odds without you.
Who? Me?
All right. Everything's in place. We hit Algernon's island fortress tonight. This is our best chance to free the people he's enslaved. Get in, save as many as you can, and bring them back here to Sanctuary. Be fast and be safe. I'll meet you on the other
back
side.
when Solus was part of a group of freedom
scouting
fighters
ahead.
and
For freedom! For the Dread Wolf!
actually still focused on ending slavery. A good little elf.
So, the Dread Wolf is testing his noble rebels against my stronghold. Courageous.
Remember, these memories can hurt us.
I never finished Inquisition, but I see Solus is living up to his being a prick potential. Yeah, here's a summary of the end of Inquisition for anyone who missed it. The gist was, Solus pretends to be a friend, and then he goes, actually, I've been secretly working to tear down the Fade this whole time. You know those artifacts we were finding where I was like, oh, let me tinker with this, it will strengthen the Fade. Nah, it was weakening the Fade. Because he was like, elves used to be immortal, and that was pretty good. And then I put the stupid Fade up to, like, prevent some gods doing some evil shit. But then elves didn't have a cool place to live being immortal. And I know that re-establishing elven immortality would kill all the non-elves, but they're not even really people. Like, they're just, like, little pets running around. We could kill them off. I want to tear down the veil and get all my elven immortality back, because I think it's deserved. And that's Solus.
Mark.
You persist for naught. The people under my rule are not yours to plunder.
Oh yeah, he is 1000% an elf supremacist. There is a reason why in Inquisition you can only date him as another elf. He will only date you if you're an elf. Because he sees non-elves as essentially lesser beings, animals, children, pets not deserving of the same degree of perceived sentience as elves.
Interesting.
You.
Oh, can you date him as a human? I thought it was elf exclusive. I thought it was only elves.
No matter
Maybe
what,
I'm wrong?
Free those slaves. We'll take
Yes,
everyone.
Solus doesn't even like the current elves. You know, he's just blah blah blah. I'm talking about Cullen, not Solus. Sorry, Cullen only dates elves and humans. I skimmed the message because I was trying to read chat. That's
And give
me
the
being an
guards
idiot.
something to think about.
We must be swift. Algernon is coming.
Yes, Solus is a heterosexual elf fucker only. He will not be anything but heterosexual and only into his own species, because that bigoted little elf, he's just kind of like that.
Let's get that prison open.
Quickly, get us out of here.
Locked tight, and no sign of a key.
There's always a way past an obstacle in the face.
Sorry, one sec. 6 cubit, I get what you're getting at. I will say I think it's different in as much as the elves were keeping themselves, like, it was elves having other elves as slaves. It's not like it was the elves were the species being subjugated by other species as a situation. It's like, this is very much a person who was a freedom fighter against slavery when it was his own people is lacking the ability to stop and see how maybe he should apply that to people who aren't him. Rights for me, but not for thee is a little bit. And I'm like, yeah. I've seen many an instance of rights for me, but not for thee coming to pass, unfortunately.
Thank you all.
There's an alluvion nearby. We'll head there right away.
Go. The Dreadwolf must be waiting for you.
But where do I go in this damned memory?
Quickly! Elganon approaches.
Stop his guards. We need to buy time for the captives to get to safety.
Yeah, the way I talk about the problem with Solus is it's for any of you who have watched Star Trek Voyager, there is an episode that I think is deeply fascinating about a character called Tuvix. Now, there are normally two characters, Tuvok and Neelix. The two of them get fused into one new person in a transporter accident. This new person is called Tuvix. Tuvix does not want to be separated back into two people. Tuvix is his own person, and ultimately the episode ends with the ship's captain, Janeway, making the decision to forcefully separate Tuvix against his will back into his two constituent people. Because, as she puts it, I don't care. They used to be two people, and I miss those two people. Those two people have a right to exist, ignoring the rights of the person who exists right here and now that you're going to have to violate in order to reestablish what once was. I bring this up because this is Solus's whole thing. He's like, there is a beautiful, flourishing world full of life right now, but there used to be a different world full of life that was better for elves, and I miss that, and I think elves have a right to have that back. So I should be allowed to discard the rights of every species alive today, because before that, there was different stuff, and that has a right to be allowed to go back, even if we gotta fuck over the rights of people today. Solus is Captain Janeway in the Tuvix episode of Voyager. I love Janeway. She's my favourite Star Trek captain. It is the one episode where I vehemently disagree with her.
I will hold off Elganon himself for as long as I am able.
Terra says he does apply it to others, though, because in Inquisition he makes a big deal out to Venture and the Qun still have slaves. He's still anti-slavery, he just wants to return to magic. But here's the thing, though. He talks about the problems with those kinds of slaveries in the modern world, but you know what he doesn't do? Use his immortality to fight for the freedom of those slaves who are not elves. He'll talk on paper about believing that those forms of slavery are wrong. But what he won't do is do what he did back in Fancy Elf World, of literally being an immortal freedom fighter to fight against slavery. What he instead does is goes, it's very terrible that they have slavery. Anyway, I could fight against that, but I'm going to tear down the veil and that this all isn't going to matter anyway when I put the elf world back together. So I'll talk about how bad it is that the slavery exists, but I'm not going to do anything about it. Because this is petty stuff for these lesser people. Like, as Lemon Wedgeworth says, I absolutely believe Solus hates slavery, especially since he wouldn't take a dragon for himself. I think he likes the role as the nobly put-upon hero, while still claiming he's not a god and doesn't want to be one. Yeah, because that's the thing, he denies he's a god, but, like, he's lived for thousands of years in which he could have been fighting slavery, but instead he was trying to put Elfworld back together. You know. Shagtastic? Yeah, the elves... Well, we're about to see a lot of Solus's regrets. Solus caused most of the problems that elves have.
I will deal with the dragon wolf.
Yeah, Solus tried talking to one clan about elven history and then gave up. Like, dude, you could have tried a little harder, maybe provided some harder damage. Yeah, he talks about the fact he talked to the Dalish elves once, about, with no proof, he told them I'm an ancient elf, here's some history, and they didn't instantly believe him, so he was like, well, it's impossible to tell the elves their history. I give up on that. Like, he could have gone like, I'll come back in 100 years. Tell your children to look out for me 100 years from today, and I won't have aged. And then we'll talk again.
No matter how far.
Lemon Wedgwood says, I do distinguish between elves and Evanuris when it comes to these issues. Yeah, that's maybe a good point. Yes. The Evanuris specifically.
Let the big asshole rant. Everyone we freed is safe in the crossroads.
Without all of you, well, thank you. But can Elganon find us here?
He cannot. I have made sure of...
Solus?
Elganon is a powerful opponent. My apologies. It is of no consequence. What matters, my friends, is that today, all of us are free.
Again, there's a world in which Solus could have been a genuinely, like, powerful force for good outside of the dismantled elven world. He could have done so much good for so many people.
So once upon a time, the Dread Wolf was a savior to his people.
Too bad he didn't stay all heroic like that.
Now all that's left is this fragment. Come on, let's go.
Darksteel, yes, I do remember the things we talked about on Pogposition this week. I can tell you roughly what was discussed in the missing episode. We might well talk about those things next week anyway, but actually, I can just look up a list of some of the things. Conrad talked about UFO 50, and we had some really interesting conversations around that. Let me find the list. For me, I told an intro story that maybe I'll revise one day, but I did open the missing episode by asking Conrad and Steph, very politely, may I please pull down your trousers? The context for that might well be lost to the ether. I don't know if I'll ever tell that story again on the podcast, but there was a story that did prompt me to start that episode on the missing version with the story, Steph and Conrad, may I please pull down your trousers? Angel at Dusk and the Binding of Isaac Steph had played, and we were gonna talk about PlayStation maybe trying to buy FromSoft's parent company, Steam controller coming back, PlayStation Portal getting game streaming, and no franchises being off the table for Xbox ports to other systems. I think that was like the topic list. Anyway, there you go. There's some of what would have been in the missing pole position. Right. We got like 2 more of these to find. Let's hop over to here. You know what? Maybe I tell you the story here. So, I used to live above a pub, and this used to be a great source of weird overheard things for Pogposition, and we have a new one of those now, and that is when I go swimming once a week. Things that are overheard at the swimming pool. A couple of weeks ago on Pogposition, we talked about me and Jane being a bit gay in the swimming pool, and then a lifeguard as we got out the pool being like, good job, ladies. And we'd be like, yeah, we were very good at being gay. A while back, we overheard a little old lady going, oh, someone should really tell one of the lifeguards there's a big pool of water over there. Presumably because there was water on the floor, but in our heads, someone should really alert the lifeguards to that big pool of water at in the swimming pool. It's real dangerous. Yeah. Thimba, I know I'm being... I'm over summarizing when I say From Software's parent company. I know the anime thing is probably the bigger thing. I was trying to summarize an episode of a podcast that never happened. I didn't want to get into too much depth, but we will probably talk about it. And I will go into that kind of depth when Pogposition happens. I know, I was in the middle of trying to get to a story about taking someone's trousers down. Forgive me for being a little bit brisk in my summary of a headline when someone asked what was in a missing podcast episode. But to finish, the thing about the may I please pull down your trousers was a conversation between 2 old ladies a couple of cubicles over from us at the swimming pool that started with, oh, may I please pull down your trousers? And I needed to know what Steph and Conrad's response would be, because I needed to know what a normal answer to that question is. Because the person being asked didn't bat an eyelid and said yes. And, like, presumably this is a situation of someone with, like, a physical disability needing a bit of help, and I'm like, that's quite sweet. Until the follow-up part, where I started building a narrative. Because a minute or two later, it became, oh, I'm going to the bathroom, would you like to come join me? Oh, yes. And now in my head, it's, may I please remove your trousers? I'm heading to the bathroom, would you like to follow me? It sounded like an elderly lesbian bathroom hookup was occurring. And I need to believe that that's the situation, because good on them. They're both really lovely ladies. I hope they were hooking up in the bathroom. Anyway, let's go get more Solus memories. There you go. You got an exclusive piece of the Lost Podquisition. Maybe that story will come up on the show at some point, someday, but for now... It was one of the rare weeks I had an opening for Podquisition. I had a little intro I was going to do. I was going to start the episode. And then it just went missing. Right, we've got 2 more Solus memory statues to pick up. And then we can go cash these statues in.
Ancient elf.
You're awake. How's your head? The guards really knocked you about.
Well, it's...
Hey, Janet, ask away.
Gillenane's lab. The wolf sent us to infiltrate her testing grounds. Things didn't go perfectly to plan, but the wolf smuggled in help. A key. If you can fight, grab the key and we'll run for it. Just be ready for whatever the witch has in store.
She thinks I'm one of Solus's agents.
Ah, freedom. We'll move faster if we split up. See you ahead.
Light.
Yeah, we're gonna get some very interesting conversations once I finish picking up these last 2 statues. Look forward to that. We're gonna get some fun Solus memories any minute now.
Gillenane was experimenting with Blight and Darkspawn. The Blight infested her lab. The memory's not over.
Wolf, you came for us. Your key was enough.
This unnatural corruption demanded my personal attention. It is strong. It has already blocked the escape route I had planned. We will need another way to the surface.
Let's all...
Yeah, this is the other thing. I have it in for Solus because he is, like, just really fucking racist to Qunari player characters in Inquisition. Some of the shit he will say to you as a Qunari Inquisitor is, pretty fucking bad. There is something he says at some point in Inquisition that's something to the effect of, I'd always thought your people no more than brutish boars. I'm glad to see that at least you prove that wrong. I'm like, oh, fuck you, sir.
Split up and find it.
Oh, I'm one of the good ones, am I, sir?
You must cut through these monstrosities before Gillenane unleashes something worse.
Solus sounded rattled.
Even then, the Blight frightened him.
You see boundless creation and choose to destroy it? Learn respect for the life that will succeed you.
She's using the testing grounds against us.
Okay, I can't shoot through that. And remember to look up at the ceilings. Oh, it's this room. I've got to keep opening doors by moving the statue. Janet says, how to become an accessibility consultant. I'm a wheelchair user and I love games but don't know where to start. I can tell you where I started, which was just writing my thoughts about video games that I played and how accessible they were for me. So, like, I just started with a website and I started writing, like, hey, I played this game and I really appreciated how the aim assist worked. I liked that the aim assist worked like this. I didn't like this about the aim assist. I found high contrast mode really useful. I know it's not designed for people with cognitive disabilities, but I found it really helpful as a way to not get stress and anxiety about missing things in locations and just being able to quickly scan and pass complex environments. And I just wrote my opinions, and what I would do is tweet those to the developers. I would just tweet at the @game account and be like, hey, I wrote some things about how I felt about the game. And for a long time, I wrote those kind of things and didn't get any work out of it, but after a couple of years of it, I occasionally got some emails back from developers going, we'd love to pay you to give those kind of insights about what we're working on. That's the best thing I can suggest, is just start doing it. Just start writing opinions about games and what's playable and what's not for you, and maybe share those links with people who do consulting. Like, if you do some of those, send me some links. I would love to read what you have to say about games, and maybe share some of those things, and maybe other people will see them. That's the best I can suggest. Janet says, I play only using one hand, so most AAA games can't. Well, it would be fascinating to know which games you can, and which ones are accidentally accessible, which ones you can't play but would be playable if some tweaks were made, that kind of thing. Like, that's the kind of stuff that there is definitely a market for people wanting to know more about. Yeah, I say Twitter, maybe Blue Sky or somewhere, but you get the gist. Yeah, as is my advice for anyone asking how to get into any of the things I do for work, just start doing them. Like, I've been doing this professionally for 10 years now, but, I was doing it for a good 5-6 years unpaid before that. The way I got the job I do was largely just by starting to do the job and being like, eventually someone will pay me for this. If I keep doing it, someone will offer to give me money to keep going.
Time to go.
Free! And faster than anticipated. Perhaps you and your allies warrant more study.
Every time you use a potion, 10% chance to get it back. Yeah, screw it, we'll take that. Lieutenant Leroy Jenkins says, I found you through the Geek Remix podcast. Your comments on Hank in Detroit Become Human still live rent-free in my mind. Oh, God. Hank. You know what? I feel... no. Do I share this? I used to do a podcast with Mari from Geek Remix. Mari, wonderful, lovely. Used to do a podcast together called Pixel Squirt. With Mari and Stacey, we did Pixel Squirt, which was reviewing video game character pornography. That podcast might have led to at least one of my consulting gigs that I have had. At least one of the times that I got to consult on a video game came about, at least in part, as a result of Pixel Squirt and someone at a game development studio finding our very thoughtful reviews of video game pornography, and that, through a series of events, led to me getting consulting work. You never know what weird little project you do is going to be the thing that gets you paid for. Shagtastic says, I found you through the Gym Position podcast and you've been fantastic in Dice Funk. I would love to roll as Nifix. I'm devastated every day that Nifix's story I love all my Dice Funk characters very much, and there are so many of them I would love to revisit. I'm very proud of all my stupid little babies. Oh, you haven't even met my my new season character yet. No one has, yes. We've just had our first downtime in recording the next season. We're like we're like 5 episodes deep into recording next season.
Maybe the darkspawn we've been.
I'll tell you this about my character for next season: middle sibling. That's the clue I will give you. Is I am playing a middle sibling.
Gillenane got her.
Oh yeah, I did make some people angry. Yeah, season 12 I play a middle sibling. That is I think that is her defining character trait right now. Is she sure is a middle sibling. Yeah, my best advice to people who like want to get their work in front of people is like, just start paying attention to who is talking about the things you want to talk about, and sharing your work with those people. Like, the example I think about is I got one of my first places I got paid freelance work was writing for The Guardian, and I got that work because I knew, like, I was writing stuff about the intersection of autism and video games, and I'd written some articles, and I was like, who can I send this to that might pay attention, like, might give it the time of day? And I knew that Keith Stewart, who at the time was gaming editor at The Guardian, obviously interested in video games, had an autistic kid, and I was like, as an autistic person writing about autism and video games, Keith seems like a person who might, if I send him a link, he might read a thing I've said, he might share it. If I then pitch him paid work, he might go, yeah, I remember that thing you wrote. That's, like, the kind of thing I would say, is, like, work out what it is that, like, you are talking about that you might be able to find other people who are in a position to, you know, maybe seek work with in the future, who might be interested, and go, like, hey, I wrote this thing, no pressure, but I would love it if you would read this thing that might be of interest to you. It's finding those opportunities to be like, here is what I've done, can I get it in front of some eyes?
You would unleash a blight on this world and call it a masterwork! You, who were the most sensitive.
Look at him with hair in HD.
All that I am belongs to the pursuit of creation. You chose to constrain yourself. I must climb to the heights only understood by gods. I go now to join them.
Wolf, you are greater than any of them. Please, help.
Yeah, Gillenane still looking relatively humanoid and not like a eldritch beast yet. Timber says, the best advice I can give, be yourself and try to be your best. Don't compare yourself to others, recognition will come with time. Yeah, I can't overstate how important that is. Bit of insight. You know, accessibility as a series on YouTube, like, it also gets views on, like, the written version of the website, but, like, on YouTube, depends on the week, but, like, often we'll go stretches where, like, episodes will be, like, 300, 400 views at most, and, like, you know, what, like, the show will often go, like, weeks at a time, not breaking 1,000. Which, like, by any other metric would be like, no, scrap it, start over, do something new, that's not picking, the algorithm's not into that. I've had videos that had fewer than 200 views get seen by the developer of the game that the video was about, and led to me getting consulting work. Like, I can't be specific about which, but some of the consulting work I did came from, like, a video with, like, 180 views, but someone at the developer studio was one of the people who saw it and was like, this has good insight, we'll pay you for work. Just because the thing isn't getting good numbers doesn't mean it won't be seen by the right people who can make it be a living. Solus, try and help.
Come on. Be the god she needs. Help her.
I am so sorry I failed you. There is only one way I can help you now.
Wolf.
This place and the corruption within it must be eradicated. No trace can be allowed
yeah, this
to
was
spread.
him creating the Fade.
Go. Your work here is done. There is no need for you to witness what I must do.
It's over. Solus destroyed the lab, the blight that was here, and his agent.
Don't know if he could have helped her, but he didn't even try.
He didn't even
This
try.
fragment might tell us more.
Okay, so we've got one more statue to go get. And then we can start learning all about Solus's past. He made the Fade to lock up some evil gods, and then realized, like, oh, I fucked up, I want to tear it back down again. Yeah, literally every problem in Dragon Age is caused by Solus doing a thing and then Solus trying to change his mind and undo the thing what he did. That's Solus's, like, whole journey.
Unbind this path, Dweller. Seek what is hidden.
Ooh, I need a Champion's Essence. Where do I get that last Champion's Essence? Janet says, I'm scared it's so hard to stand out on YouTube, so I want to do something for sure, like gaming journalism. It's hard to stand out no matter what field you get into in stuff like this. There will always be like 1,000 people trying to make talking about games what they do, but quality stands out. And that's... You'll never stand out unless you start doing. Starting to create is the first step to standing out from having created. That is the best advice I can give, is if you want people to notice your work, you've got to start just doing the work. Oh, we got to go to Docktown to get the last champion. Okay, we can finish doing Solus's statues in a minute. We're going to carefully go to Docktown and not set off any other story quests. Alright, where in town is this last one? Oh, it's up here. Can I teleport to this one? No. Try to there.
I have a cousin who lives in this mountain. A dragon here? I never thought.
This way. Oh, we're going down the elevator.
I left them on your desk.
Now we're going this way. Where are we going?
Emmerich, can you tell me about skeletons?
Very good.
How do you fight the blue ones?
Blue ones?
Yeah, blue fire, backwards heads, claws have sparks like lightning.
Backwards? I've never encountered undead like that.
Huh. They're all over this one island off the Ravani coast.
Then once we're back at the lighthouse, we'll pack at once.
What? I didn't say we should... Fine.
I'm really enjoying these two discovering each other's interests. I forgot to show this. I have a screenshot of it from when I was playing off screen. There was a really nice little pop-up that happened at some point. I think it was here. Because of your encouragement, Tash and Emmerich are learning more about each other's specialties. They're sharing their special interest hyperfixations with each other, and it's so cute. It's just telling each other about their favorite stuff. Hello, I'm scared of skeletons, but can you teach me more about the spooky blue ones? Okay, let's slowly leak. Oh, it's this one. I know where we're going. Gotta do a big fight down here, but it'll probably be fine.
I see we've company.
Just get a big laser blast in. Oh, you're only level 20. Oh, you'll be easy. I must have come and fought you at a way lower level the first time. But yes, we're gonna get like a big blast of Solus backstory in like, I'm gonna say about 5-10 minutes. We'll get the big motherload of Solus plot. Yeah, we are literally getting the last key to go get the last statue that lets get Solus plots.
Better get this where it's needed.
I'm up already.
There we go, last couple. Finish grabbing anything good down here. Right, so let's head back to the crossroads. Go open that gate. Let's do Regrets of the Dreadwolf. Chew! We can fast travel. Now we can go to here. We'll get there quick enough.
They're dug in here. The Venatori must be after something nearby. Let's get it first.
Come on, just let me get Solus's tasty memories. All I need. All I'm here for today. All the things that make Solus sad, we've got to learn about. Do I have to take down all these barriers to go get this Solus memory, or can I just head there?
Venatori, right now!
can open this door.
Another of those Fen Harel altars. That's another barrier down.
Here we go. The statue get us? Okay, I'll take a skill point. Okay, fine. Where is the one of these crystals that isn't protected? Is it up there? There it is.
Your lives, Wayne.
At Pico. Okay, last strand of these we need to break. Hey, Thousand Young. How are you doing today? We've got to break a crystal up there. Where are you? There you are. Nearly at that last statue. Come on. There it is. There's the big crystal. This will break chain going this way.
There. The Venatori can't lock us out anymore.
Beautiful.
Each other's strength.
This is gonna, I think, give us some of those little things we need to smash. We'll look for them when we're not fighting this angry blood forge. one of the things I need to break is over there. How am I doing? I'm doing pretty good, honestly. I'm really happy with how the video I did today turned out about what is accessibility consulting and trying to sort of break down like what is that job I do, what actually is that? And it's led to a bunch of people messaging me going, hey, I'd love to do that thing. How do I start doing that thing? And I'm like, that's the first step is asking. That's great. I'm glad people are showing an interest. It's been super cool seeing people having a desire to know more about doing the thing what I do. So that's been pretty cool today. Where's that sort of wispy trail going? And more diagonally that way than I guess I thought it was. Is it in this little cave? No. Aha. Have an extra 100 health. Beautiful. I do love these statues where it's like, do a little puzzle, we just give you some straight up stats. Oh, I have to go the long way around. This is the last one we need to collect. And we still have an hour and a half left of stream, so we have plenty of time to delve into every single one of Solus's, like, silly little backstory facts. So we've spent, like, the first half of today's stream going over every reason to be a bit annoyed at Solus and that, like, everything is Solus's fault, he's a bit of a dick and we shouldn't have, and we have no reason to be at all sympathetic. Prepare for the second half of the stream where I don't know if you'll feel sympathetic for him, but, like, if you're ever going to feel sympathetic for Solus, it might be the second half of this stream. The game's going to try and evoke at least a little sympathy, or at least some understanding.
There. That's what the Venatori are after.
Here it is.
Why were the Venatori after this statuette? Just being near it makes me feel regret.
Right, let's go cash in all of Solus's sad memories. I hope you're ready. We're about to have a lot of conversations about Solus. So many conversations about Solus. You don't even know how many conversations we're about to have about Solus. I don't know if there's a particular order. We're going to start with this one.
I was not certain you would come.
You were the one who walked away. I never turn my back when my friend needs me.
The Evanurus seek the magic of the Blight.
Impossible. The Blight is safely sealed away forever.
Though I wish I could believe you, I have sensed the breaking of the wards.
I will investigate your claims. If they forget the danger of the Blight, I will endeavor to remind them.
What if, instead, you left the Evanurus and remained with me? Do you not wish for freedom from this struggle?
Be at peace, love. I will stop them.
As you must. The Blight is our mistake.
Did Mythal call Solus love in that memory?
That's what it sounded like.
So they were doing it.
The elven gods were free with their emotions. They felt things deeply.
Well, they were
the
doing
way they
it.
express things, well, it feels romantic to us, but that wasn't really how it was. Back then, I mean.
Nah, they were doing it.
They were doing it. Tosh, this series of conversations we're about to have here are some of my favourite conversations between this group of characters. And a big part of that is Tosh. Because we have, they were doing it. Look out for any time a dragon is mentioned where Tosh will be like, nice, cool. Just because a dragon came up? Ugh.
Oh, they were absolutely doing it.
Being with someone you're rebelling against? Doesn't sound like Solus.
He also met her in secret and talked about how they could run off together.
Now, I don't intend to be one of those person who has only ever seen Boss Baby, this reminds me of Boss Baby type people. Being in love with, secretly in love with someone you're supposed to be having a rebellion against. I've seen Steven Universe. I know how that goes.
It sounded so tragic and romantic.
Oh, wait. Never mind. That does sound like him.
So the Dread Wolf goes to Mythal. They might be fighting, but they have history.
And he warns her about the other gods using the Blight. That's more important than his rebellion. It's like kingdoms coming together when an archdemon rises.
Mythal didn't think it was possible. She said the Blight was sealed away. There's an old legend about it. Davrin, the one with Andrul's armor. Not sure it matters.
I want to ask more. What's tell us the story. Give us backstory.
We're deep in Elven lore already. What's the legend say?
Right. Well, Andrul was the goddess of the hunt. She put on armor, magic armor, made of something called the Void, drove her mad.
I remember this one. The other gods were afraid Andrul would turn on them. She was doing all kinds of horrible things, causing plagues. It does sound like the Blight.
Well, it all ends with Mythal fighting Andrul. After, Mythal turned into a dragon.
She what? Why didn't you start with that?
Anyway,
oh, there's dragons involved. The second a dragon comes up, Tasha's like, oh, turned into a dragon. Why was that not the start of the story?
Then Andrul's madness left, and peace returned.
Intriguing. So it's possible Andrul stumbled onto the magic of the Blight.
And when Andrul went mad, Mythal took it from her and locked it away.
Until someone started using it again.
Okay, Solus warns Mythal about the other gods using the Blight. It's not just bad, it's something bad he feels responsible for. The Blight was our mistake.
How is the Blight their mistake? Did they find it? Did they make it? What does that mean?
Whatever it was, it convinced Mythal to take him seriously.
So Mythal goes off to investigate what Solus says. Then, what? It's too clean.
Seems plenty messy with them doing it.
But this isn't just a memory. It's something Solus wanted to hide. What's the crime? What did we see here that he feels guilty about?
I think I might know. When the Inquisitor was saving the world from the breach, she met Mythal.
What? Like in a dream?
In the Fade.
It was complicated. She helped the Inquisition. There was a magic pond and a dragon.
Nice.
The point...
There was a dragon. Nice. Tosh is the best part of these conversations. I genuinely love these. I wish more games had shit like this to like, we found out a thing. Let's like puzzle it out. Let's puzzle it out back and forth, work out what it means as a group. Tosh is the best part of
it. She also said the other elven gods betrayed her, killed her.
Okay, sorry, point of order. If they killed Mythal, how was she still around to help the Inquisition?
Elven god magic? She'd spent centuries gathering strength and sharing people's bodies, I think.
If it was a truly benign possession, that speaks to her character.
Solus tried to do the right thing by warning Mythal about the other gods using the Blight, but he got her killed.
Well, it's not just that she died.
What do you mean, Tosh?
It's... Ugh. There was stuff he wanted to tell her, but he waited too long, and then she was dead. He never got to make it right. That twists you up.
That's it. There's our crime.
Doesn't really tell us anything we can use, though.
We know more than we did. That's something.
Then I guess we keep our eyes open if we come across more of these memories.
Don't worry, we found them all. We're going to sit through every one of them. Oh, it is telling us which one to plug in next. That's good. That's good. We're not gonna get them out of order. Cool.
You dare to try to cage us, jealous of our growing power.
You will pay the final price.
Right, these reveals are so fucking... There's so much good shit.
Use the blight. For this, and for Mathol, I sentence you to sleep in exile ever after.
Yeah, this is Solus
Your own lives will
putting
form
up the
veil
fade.
that keeps the horror you unleashed at bay.
The veil. I keep using the words veil and fade interchangeably, and I know I shouldn't. That's
So
on
he
me.
locked the gods away and created a veil between this world and the Fade. I mean, they were terrible, no question. But what he did, it didn't just stop them. It destroyed our culture, our world.
It wasn't just to stop them. It was to stop the Blight. We've seen how bad Elganon and Gillenane are. Imagine all 7 corrupted gods running wild.
So he created the Veil just to keep the elven gods locked in their prison?
Yes, to keep them from accessing the Fade. But was the creation of the Veil around the world an accident?
You heard him yelling. That's not the sound of a ritual going right.
What do you think, Rook?
Honestly, looking at this memory, I think I'm with Solus here.
Even as he destroyed my people's world? Locked away who we were?
Solus was up against 7 blighted gods. They were gonna destroy that world themselves. And it's clear he wishes he'd done it differently. That's why he's ashamed of this memory.
I had another question, and I'm sorry, maybe this doesn't matter, but Solus trapped the blighted gods in an ancient elven building, right?
That's what it looks like. Maybe a palace? Fancier than what I've seen in Arlethan, at least.
And then, the Magisters were lured into the Fade. They broke in, which let the Blight escape, and turned the Golden City black.
Right, and the Black City hangs in the Fade, a little reminder of their mistakes. What's wrong, Lace?
It's just... the Chant of Light says that the Maker built for them the Golden City, the center of all creation. But if the Golden City was an ancient elven palace, then the Maker didn't build it. The elves did. The Chant of Light is Andraste's visions from the Maker, but it sounds like it's wrong.
Yeah, this is where the
You're
Solus
asking
shit
if we
gets
just disproved
fascinating.
the entire Andrastian faith.
Did we?
Yeah, so this was the first point where I realized these Solus statues were gonna be, like, pivotal fucking Dragon Age lore shit. Is the entire Andrastian faith the primary religion of Thedas? Have we just seen evidence that it's not true? Shagtastic says, this is an actual big question. If your culture is going to lead to an apocalypse, do you destroy the culture in question? I think that you could very easily make the argument both ways on that. I think that Solus, to give him a little bit of credit, was in a very tough position. He was in a real trolley problem situation, and he made a call. And he's thought maybe I did the wrong thing ever since. Your religion is a lie based on people you've oppressed giving you all your faith. A little bit. Yeah, so this is a really interesting one, because all of our choices here are about what we want our character to believe in terms of religious faith given this fucking revelation. Put aside the question. You know what? I hadn't really thought about this before this question came up about how I wanted to answer this. I want to be playing a Rook who was a believer in the Maker. I'm gonna say I believe this hurts me too.
I'm right there with you, Lace. I believe in the Maker. If it's all just ancient elven stuff and there's nothing else, that's a lot.
Just because I think it's
The Chant
an
of Light
interesting
has seen many
position.
iterations over the centuries. This may simply change our understanding of it.
I know, but that's a change to, well, everything we're supposed to believe in.
The Dalish clans are struggling with the same thing. What do we keep? What do we lose?
The Elven Gods, the Maker.
Yeah, I really like Emmerich's response to that of, you know, essentially the scripture has been reinterpreted and reinterpreted over time based on increased understanding. Maybe this is just another one of those moments where we reinterpret what's literal and what's not, and how you can look at what you know through the lens of faith. I think that's a really, like, it's something I had a lot of conversations about. I've talked about this before. I used to be deeply religious. I used to be a committed Christian once upon a time in my life. And it was something that I had, like, big theological discussions with people about, which is, like, how you square increased scientific understanding that seems to directly contradict the Bible with continuing religious faith, and how you reinterpret scripture in the context of things you learn about the world, and that learning new things about the world doesn't have to necessarily disprove religious text, but can be part of a journey of learning new ways to read the text that is there. Lemon Wedgeworth says, as a Jewish person, I'm very familiar with reinterpretation of scripture. Yeah, as a Christian, a lot of reinterpretation of, or a former Christian, a lot of reinterpretation of scripture. It's one of the things I find most interesting in religion, and for anyone that's listened to Dice Funk, it's why I was so frustrated with Little Flying Elephant, whatever the fuck his name was, who I tried to ask questions about his religion, and he instantly stopped being friends with me. I'm like, no, I'm not asking questions about your religion, like, to be a little shit about it. I'm doing it because I genuinely, like, want to understand the theology of the stuff.
No matter who you light a candle to, you've got some hard questions to ask yourself right now.
Doctrine is not the
Lancelot,
truth.
that's the fucker's name.
It is one of many paths to the truth.
I recognize the sentiment, though not the specific quote. Who said that?
My mother.
Ah. Questions of faith aside, we have some very real gods that still need killing.
Looks like there are 3 more of these murals with the Dreadwolf's old memories. Wonder what else he's hiding.
Yeah, no, Lancelot and his, like, completely ending my friendship because I asked him one theological question about his religious belief is the entire reason, or a very big part of the reason, that I played Barbella in Season 11 of Dice Funk as a character who had a religious belief but was genuinely fascinated and open to learning about other people's faiths, and who wanted to find other faiths that had reasons to believe what they believed but that contradicted with her own beliefs so that she could learn more about the world of faith that's out there, and eventually became a character who tried to create a combination of 2 religions combining into one. Anyway, yeah.
So
We've potentially disproven the Andrastian faith. What's the next Solus memory going to do for us? Is it going to be equally big? Probably.
long observed the world. Why not consider joining it?
But I have no desire to live as humans. I have the Fade. Besides, this talk of taking on a solid form. I think you underestimate the danger. When you took the glowing stone to build your body, did the earth not shake?
The lyrium gives us the strength we had when we were of the Fade. We are the best of physical and spirit. I need your wisdom, Solus. To withstand the louder voices who would go too far like Elganon. I need you.
This is madness. You must know that. I will always follow where you go.
So yeah, you know how all of Inquisition Solus is walking around being like, I spend like literal years dreaming and traveling the Fade, and I would stay in the Fade 24/7 if I could, rather than being in the physical world. Yeah, that takes on a whole different weight when you realize that, like, he never wanted a physical form in the first place and was talked into it by the person he was doing it with.
This is astounding. The ancient elves were spirits who voluntarily manifested a physical form.
And yeah, that's where we're getting at, is the elves were spirits. They were just spirits from the Fade who took on physical form. This is why he has such an affinity for spirits. He literally was a spirit taken physical form, which then recontextualizes so much of the stuff to do with what's our little autistic spirit in a big hat in Inquisition? What's his fucking name? You'll know who I'm talking about. Yeah, we'll get there in a second. Cole. This is what's so interesting about Cole and Solus's relationship with Cole in Inquisition, is that Solus is really upset about Cole becoming more human, because I bet what Solus is grappling with is, I was once a spirit and I ended up becoming more human and I regret it and I miss being a spirit. I don't want to watch another spirit go through the journey of becoming tangible and human. Cole, Cole's whole side quest is so much more interesting with this context, right?
I'd rather go back to talking about the Blight.
Hey, Lucanus. Could Spite turn into an elf?
No.
Sorry, but...
No.
What?
This is... I don't even know what this is. And I'm not even an elf. I can't imagine what you and Davrin must be feeling.
It's fine.
Lucanus has
We're
the best
spirits.
line reads.
What does this even mean? Could I accidentally banish myself?
To be clear, this memory only shows that the first elves originated from spirits. Balara, you and Davrin are no more spirits than anyone else conceived naturally.
Conceived naturally? Guess I'll go ask my mother.
But Cole could totally have turned into an elf, I guess.
The knowledge that an entire people were formed from a mass manifestation could change our entire understanding of magic.
If we let it out, is that the right call? Do you want bigoted humans yelling about how elves are demons?
Davrin's got a point. World's not short on small-minded humans.
You see why I think that we're going to somewhere other than Thedas if we get another Dragon Age, right? Because the Veilguard really feels like it is trying to give you every answer you've ever fucking wondered about Thedas. And all of the species of Thedas. The Veilguard is just like bam, 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 lore, lore, lore. Here is all of Thedas's questions answered. It feels so prime and ready to move to a different setting. New threat, new species. The
entire idea is preposterous. Who would even believe us?
It does seem outlandish when taken out of context, I admit.
We have to tell someone, though. Strife and Irulan, at least.
If I told Thea and Viago, they'd think I was sampling Viago's poison collection. No one will believe us.
Okay, we keep this to people we trust who have good reason to know. No shouting it from the rooftops.
Agreed. The Morn Watch has a great deal of experience keeping dangerous secrets.
So, beyond the world-shaking stuff, what else did we learn here? Solus himself was a spirit.
What kind do you think he was?
Well, his name is Elvin for pride.
Oh, okay.
There's something else. Not
That
about
solves
spirits.
it.
Or not all about them, at least. Solus didn't want to become a person with a physical
This
body.
explains so much of his
He
behavior,
only
right?
agreed after Mathal begged him.
Then that's his regret. He wishes he'd never taken physical form.
Maybe, but not just that. Solus was scared. They built their bodies out of lyrium, and it made the ground shake.
Lyrium is the blood of the Titans.
The Titans would have felt it as an attack. They defended themselves.
So this is why the Titans and the Evanuris, like that whole war goes down, is because the elves made their physical forms by stealing the Titans' blood. Literally, they were spirits that stole the blood of the Titans to make their physical forms, being like, oh, this is the best of both worlds. Literally no downsides to this. We're physical, we're magical, we're perfect. And the Titans are like, not perfect for us. Give us our fucking blood back. An attack on Titans, one might say, yes.
The first memory we saw, with Elgarnon seizing power, it happened at the end of a war.
A war between the Titans and the elves.
Lace, I'm so sorry.
It feels like we still don't have the full picture. But I think that's part of what Solus regrets. He didn't see the danger.
Except he did. He was worried. You said it yourself.
He did it for Mithal. Everything that followed, he could have prevented if he just told her no.
And he's got a war on his conscience. Plus whatever we find next.
So yeah, you see what I mean about, like, there is a lot of additional... Look, we're not saying this excuses Solus, but, like, there's more going on with his whole thing than, you know, we gave him credit for. Like, they delve into... There is a lot of Solus backstory to dig into. There is a lot of back and forth context to explain his... Yeah, it doesn't excuse him, but it explains it. Yeah. It gives a lot more context as to how he ends up how he is. This is the one that made me go, fuck you, Solus. Yeah.
With this, the proper ritual will sunder every Titan from its spirit.
Oh yeah, I know what one this is. This is, I would argue, the biggest piece of shit move Solus does.
But you must know those severed dreams will certainly be driven mad. A disembodied blight of pain and anger. It is awful what we're doing.
And the only way to end this war.
Yeah.
So
Solus created the blight. He created the blight by severing the Titans from their spirits. He literally separated the Titans' bodies and spirits from each other, creating a pain and anguish that is the blight. Creating all of that shit. Also, this gives a whole new fucking context to all of Solus's bigoted shit he says about the dwarves. He's the reason that the dwarves are the way the dwarves are. Yeah, not the demons, the blight specifically. Yes, he... Well, sorry, we'll let it get into it properly, but yeah, this gives a whole different context to his, like, fucking shitty bigotry about the dwarves.
Bliss made the weapon that killed the Titans.
This is the weapon that killed the
not
Titans.
Killed. He cut away their dreams and left them broken and mindless. He passed me in the halls of Skyhold for a year. He made polite conversation, and he knew. He knew what he did.
Yep.
I don't even know what to say, Lace. I can't even imagine.
Yes, he even called the dwarves
so sorry.
A tranquil race. Yeah, because he fucking tranquilized them. He's the reason dwarves can't do magic. Yeah, because here's the thing. Like, Mithal talks about, like, by using the Titan's blood, by using the lyrium to go from being spirits to being the elves, giving themselves physical form, they get the best of both. They get to be physical while having the magic they used to have as elves. Yeah, because they're taking away the Titan's magic to become elf magic. The elves are using Titan blood magic, and that's why the dwarves don't have fucking dwarven magic, is because the elves stole it to make elf magic. Solus is literally the reason that all of his shitty comments about the dwarves not being magical, he's the fucking reason they're not magical.
I served in the Inquisition. I know terrible things happen in war.
And when the Titans fought back, they wiped them out. Exactly.
The Titans were the size of mountains. I doubt the elves were winning their fight. He considered this the cost of saving his people.
Fear and guilt make people do stupid things.
To do such a thing. No wonder regret eats away at Solus.
No, it's worse than that. That isn't what Solus regrets. Those severed dreams will be driven mad. A disembodied blight of pain and anger.
Mierda.
You can't. That's not possible.
When a warden hears the calling, it's like a song in their mind. Sound familiar to you, lady?
Fucking love this.
The song of Lyrium. Of the Titans.
When Grey Wardens hear the calling, the thing that's like, you've got to come have your death over here, like, come over here and die. They're hearing the same fucking song that the dwarves hear. It's the fucking song of the Lyrium. The Grey Wardens are hearing the same song that the dwarves hear. Right. The calling is the dwarfs, the song the dwarves hear from the stone.
We think of the Blight as this monstrous force with no mercy, no compassion. Evil incarnate. Instead, it's a caged animal. Mistreated and imprisoned for centuries. Until all it knows is fear.
The Blight is literally the scared, disembodied spirit of the Titans, separated from itself and just scared and alone and lashing out. That is the Blight. That is the Blight.
What does this mean for Darkspawn? Should we be trying to help them?
I don't believe so. If the Blight is a corrupted dream, Darkspawn may be mindless manifestations of its anger.
Right. They're not people. We're never going to get through to them.
The Titans are a problem for later. We have Elgernon and Gillanane to deal with now.
And then I want Solus to look me in the eye and answer for what he did.
Each of these memories has been a deeper regret, and almost all of them involve Mythal.
Only one mural left to uncover by my count. If we find it, we'll see what's worse than this.
Okay. How does killing an archdemon quell this anger temporarily? I think it just kills a piece of the anger. I think that's it. I think it's just a little piece of the tangible anger no longer has a home to be in. I don't know. There are questions still to be answered, and I'm sure there are people with a better grasp on the lore than me that will put that stuff together. I read a lot of the lore before doing my little bit of work on this game, but that was a while ago, and there are people who will have... Yeah, like disrupting a hive mind, that's sort of my thought, is that you're cutting off part of the group signal. Maybe that's not it, but like that's my gut instinct. This is why we need a World of Thedas Volume 3. I wouldn't be surprised if we got more books in... Because next up is going to be a new Dragon Age.
Soon enough.
One sec.
You need the...
Yeah, next up is going to be a new Mass Effect before we get another Dragon Age, so I fully expect we'll get more book stuff. We were kind of here for this regret.
Power of a god. The strength that I alone still carry.
The blighted Evanuris will soon break free from their prison. I must make a stronger one that can contain them.
Yeah, this is
While the prison is important, it is not the only
This is
goal
the
you
context
seek.
for the start of the
Should I
game.
not tear down the veil and bring back immortality to all the elven people? They deserve it.
The elven people of today do not deserve to see the world they love be torn apart to salve your conscience.
Can we just pause on this for a minute? Because this is again where I start thinking about fucking Janeway and Tuvix. The elven people of today do not... This could apply to all the people of today. It doesn't have to apply to the elven people. The people of today do not deserve to see the world they love be torn apart to salve your conscience. You feel bad about what you destroyed, and therefore you're going to destroy so much more for so many other people. Right? Mythal is not going to let Solus get away with this bullshit, because she is maybe the only person that Solus might actually fucking believe when told, you're doing this for the wrong reasons, this is not the right thing. Yeah, Lemon Wedgeworth says, Mythal made a lot of mistakes, but she was absolutely correct for this. Yes, this is the point where Mythal goes, fuck you, Solus. Fuck you. Don't use me to justify what you're doing now. When an archdemon wakes up, it's one of an Evanurus mind, so the blight is when one of the old elven gods gets access to the Darkspawn, yes. This regret just really shows that Solus is no longer doing this for Mythal, he's doing it to assuage his own guilt. Yeah, 1000%.
I must fix what I have broken. I am sorry.
As am I, old friend.
Yeah, none of that is, like, canon, but, like, that's my understanding of going on there.
Solus killed Mythal? After all that? Is this another memory from a different time?
No. He wore that same outfit in the Inquisition. We knew Solus woke up in this world without most of his power. Now we know how he got it back.
By killing the only other god around and stealing her power.
All that epic magic and godly power. In the end, it comes down to love and murder. Same as always.
He needs to be right. He cannot let himself believe that he spent thousands of years working towards the wrong thing.
All these memories are about Solus being sad that he was right and nobody else could see it. He was right about how becoming elves would lead to a war with the Titans, but Mythal wouldn't listen.
This is the tragedy of
He was right
Solus.
that using the dagger on the Titans was evil, but Mythal wouldn't listen.
He was so proud when he imprisoned the other gods. Finally, he got to prove that he was right and they were wrong.
Then he wakes up in our time and finds out he was wrong. The elves have nothing. The Blight's a constant threat.
And Mythal's alive, somehow. But she still won't listen.
But this time he'll show her, no matter what it takes.
That's the thing that's the tragedy about Solus. He has had a series of events where he was right and couldn't convince people, like, people would not see his side, but history ultimately kind of proved him right. But he was talked into doing things that he was like, this is a bad idea, and it was a bad idea. And he's got this vision of himself in his head as a result. So this time around, when he wakes up and sees the world as it is, and he's like, I've got to set this right, and everyone's like, no, we disagree with you. He's like, this is like all the other times. I know what is right, and none of you can see the vision, and I need to just do it because then you'll see that I'm right. I need to trust myself and not listen to what you're telling me because you always tell me to do the wrong thing and it fucks everything up for everyone. I need to trust myself this time, but this is the time he's wrong. He was right about things, talked into doing the things, yeah. Yeah, the arc of history is long but bends towards justice. Everyone has been wrong, he can't be convinced he's wrong. Yeah, he's always gone along with what other people have said and they've been proven wrong. And he's always been, like, his gut instinct was on the right side, so he now refuses to believe that he is wrong. He has to believe that, you know, the narrative he spun himself.
So, how does everything we know help us now?
He's being honest about fighting the Blight. Whatever happens, he won't risk letting it back out into the world.
Agreed. But he has a plan to escape that prison, and not one we'll like.
He turned on Mythal, the one person he was actually loyal to. There's no way he won't turn on us.
Yeah.
He's a spirit, or was once. He might be able to possess someone, affect minds, all the things spirits do.
He created the Veil. His very nature is tied to it. That will be a source of strength, but also a potential weakness.
Mythal has him all messed up. Anything about her or Elgernon is gonna make him angry. Sloppy.
Solus thinks he knows what's best for everyone. Anything he does, he'll do while telling himself he's the hero.
The bad news is that the god of lies and trickery is almost definitely preparing to betray us. The good news is that we've gone through his dirty laundry.
So, we know his motivations. You think we can set a trap of our own?
That's the hope.
You have witnessed the Protector's tale, Dweller. Almost to its end.
Almost?
Almost? How can there be more?
When the mighty fall, Their echoes cross the ages. An audience is warranted.
We have one more bit of plot to do.
She awaits you in the crossroads.
Today really has been all Solar Soul stream, hasn't it? Okay. Let's go see who wants to chat with us. Who has access to the crossroads and the lighthouse and is here to hang out with us? Oh, does it say so on the screen? It might do. You have no idea who we're going to see.
Well met, Rook.
Oh, yeah, Terra, don't worry. I've been waiting for this one, too. I wanted to do this all in one stream. This is why I did a bit of this off stream, is I wanted to do that big dragon and all of the solar shit in one go. I said meet Morgan at the crossroads. Okay, yeah. Oh, shit, it's Morgan! How could we have known?
I did tell you I had my ways through Illuvians when I introduced you to the Inquisitor, did I not?
The Illuvians in general, yes. But not the Dreadwolf's crossroads.
I would think you have more pressing questions at the moment. Questions about Solus and Mythal?
Mythal?
The two gods have always been linked, have they not? First, when Mythal bade her companion spirit to abandon the Fade and take on mortal form. Then, when Solus spilled Mythal's mortal blood, that he might absorb her power as his own.
Wait, how do you know exactly what we saw of Solus's past?
Think upon it, Rook. You saw for yourself in the Dreadwolf's memories. When Mythal stood against the gods' manipulations of the Blight, she was betrayed and struck down. Yet she survived and returned ages later to aid the Inquisition in its hour of need. How?
The elven gods had access to magic beyond anything we can imagine.
To be sure, but it matters less what they possessed than what they were. You recall that the first elves were spirits?
Revolutionary technology, real-world results.
That's a spirit turned elven.
Tab started auto-playing
And
some
when
shit.
her body was struck down, to spirit, she returned. Her essence sheltered in a willing mortal vessel. Over the centuries, she journeyed from host to host, slowly amassing her former power anew. Until once again, she was struck down, on this occasion, by Solus. He absorbed her power, but not her memories.
Then where did they... Wait, you?
As you say.
This puts a lot of interesting stuff in perspective about Morrigan, doesn't it? Ah. Morrigan's got Mythal in her.
You're Mythal? That's why the ambient magic around you is so fractured.
Such a flattering picture you paint of this ancient bond.
What? That was like how Elgarnon and Gillinan can talk in your head. But...
'Twas Mythal you heard, her echoes. Yet I am not the goddess returned.
What are you then?
I once feared Mythal would consume me were I to carry her, but 'twas not so. I remain free-willed and mortal. What I now possess is but a spark of Mythal, shadowed memories through which to sift for meaning. As to our admixture, I suspect you have questions.
So yeah, this also adds some real context to letting Morrigan drink from the well of elven memories. Slurp, slurp. Suck up those memories.
You would have met Solus in the Inquisition, right?
Yeah.
I did indeed. 'Twas before I possessed Mythal's memories. At the time, I thought Solus a scowling elven apostate whose sole passion was finding arguments. He heard me, in all my ignorance, expound on the histories of the elven people, explaining legends he had witnessed himself.
Bet he loved that.
'Tis not a memory that brings me pride.
Come on, give us all the juicy stuff.
Do you have information we can use against Gillenane or Elgarnon? Or Solus?
The last time Mathal faced Elgarnon and Gillenane, she was struck down by the very dagger you now carry.
What about Solus?
You may recall he murdered Mathal's former host to claim her godly might as his own. I hoard no untapped magical secrets, Rook. What I do possess, I share freely with you and the Veil Jumpers.
All right.
Oh, today is the 14-year anniversary of Danger Days. God, I don't like that album's 14 years old. I remember being in living at home with my parents, being in the kitchen on the family computer, listening to a live stream of that album for the first time. God. 14 years, fuck. Wait, what, 19? Ugh.
So there's the soul of an elven god inside you. How does that even happen?
Mathal's last host was my mother, Flemeth.
Oh.
When I learned she intended me to become the next receptacle of an ancient god's soul, I feared naught would be left of my own. It inevitably came to pass on a deep night.
You're indeed the kids of yesterday,
by
as
the
it
presence
were.
of a blaze of magic in the shape of a woman who both was and was not my mother.
This isn't the strangest thing I've heard, but it's close.
'Tis difficult to describe, even now. Mathal's memories were both gift and burden, this blazing woman told me. But I must accept them of my own accord. The decision was paralyzing. What would it mean to become such a host? What would be lost if I refused? In the end, 'twas something in my mother's voice which guided me.
What was that?
Regret. Not the regret of a god, but of a mother who knew she would never see me again. And so, my mind remains my own. What I gained was knowledge, both Mathal's and of those who bore her.
How can you carry Mathal's soul if you're not an elf?
Her spark has sheltered within both elves and humans who were sympathetic to her in thought and circumstance. Mathal's last host was a woman wronged, trapped by those sworn to love her. We may readily imagine their kinship.
So yeah, there's a shit ton of plot.
You didn't come out here just to tell me you're Mathal.
I am not Mathal in her entirety, but yes, the Dreadwolf has occasion to visit you in dreams, where he portions out advice. And now, after finding his memories, you have peered into his deepest sorrows. Tell me then, what do you make of Solus?
I should ask you. Mathal knew Solus better than anyone.
I would influence your answer. Or do you mean to discover if I would stand directly against the Dread Wolf, were there a need?
Would you?
I shall aid you in any way, but that, even had I the power. What has passed between Solus and Mathal, I beg you, do not ask this of me again.
What do I think of Solus?
Every decision he made, Solus thought he could save people, stop things from getting worse. Now his only way forward is a plan so terrible, his last friends had to stop it.
An unfortunate belief that all paths are closed but those one has already taken.
There might have been a better choice.
There is some tragedy to
which made Solus your opponent, but conviction. A belief that only he may halt what he set in motion. Yet Solus was once beloved of Mathal. 'Tis his very loyalty and love for his people that led to the tragedy we now face.
Solus's story is a tragedy in the sense of the Greek tragedies. a capital T tragedy of a story.
You may be in a position to determine how it ends. More.
Yeah, Shagtastic says, if Solus just stopped doing things, things might improve for everyone. That's the whole thing. It's like the classic Greek tragedies. It's his entire defining character trait at this point is conviction. It's the one thing he cannot give up is his conviction, and his conviction is the one thing stopping him from stopping.
More so than either of you might realize.
Well, that's not terrifying at all.
You have been thrust into the lives of gods. Fate will have its way, whether or without our permission.
Even more comforting, Morrigan.
If you would shape the outcome of your battle, I've one last secret to share. When Mythal was struck down by the other gods, it was with her own lyrium dagger, the dagger you now carry. Solus recovered it from Elganon, and from it extracted a fragment of Mythal that had lain hidden within its depths. This fragment, a younger sister to the one I carry, if you will, resides here, in the crossroads. I can open the way for you. Find her, survive the encounter, and the essence you obtain will aid you in times to come.
All of this shit in the crossroads, with fighting that dragon, collecting all the Solus memories, this is all technically optional. But I will say this, I will confirm this much. Doing this whole plot thread, if we can get that piece of Mythal that's here, fighting that dragon, beating the 3 boss fights, beating the 5 fights to get the 5 statues, to unlock all of Solus's memories, to talk to Morrigan, to go get this piece of Mythal. If we can get this piece of Mythal, it will alter the options of how this game can end for us. This will be a route to a way this game can end.
Another fragment of Mythal? In addition to the one inside you?
You are aware of what the word fragment means, are you not? One small piece of many, formed when something greater is broken. The first elves were spirits, as you well know, and when a spirit is broken, it may shatter into pieces, each holding part of the original. Among the ancient elves who became known as gods, Dirthaman and his brother, Falondine, are but one example.
All of that sounded great until survived the encounter.
You know Solus, and have seen Elganon, and memories of Mythal. They are creatures of emotion, as all spirits are. The fragment of Mythal that resides in me lived among mortals for thousands of years. She has grown wiser and more patient. This younger sister has not. She is the essence of Mythal as a god. She is unlikely to listen to polite requests, and though she is but a fragment of the goddess, the battle will test you sorely.
If she's just going to attack us, why tell us about her at all? We have enough enemies already.
A fragment of a god's essence is a powerful thing. It may give you options against Elganon and Gillanane, or against the Dread Wolf himself, should he prove as cunning and treacherous as ever.
If I were to try to talk with her, do you have any suggestions?
It is vitally important we internalize everything Morrigan says here.
She will demand respect, but detest flattery. She appreciates righteous anger, but will not tolerate pity. She is, for want of better phrasing, prickly. But if you are determined to try, then I wish you luck.
Let's look at that one more time. Look at that one more time. She will demand respect, but detest flattery. She appreciates righteous anger, but will not tolerate pity. Cool. Cool.
What kind of spirit was Mythal before she became an elf? I know Solus is Elven for pride.
Mythal enjoyed ruling and having power, but it came not from the overweening desire to crush resistance, as is the case with Elganon. The emotion that inspired her might best be described as benevolence, a guiding hand inclined to kindness. But like any spirit, when angered or twisted against her purpose, a more violent aspect arose.
Yeah, you've got to respect her without being a bootlicker. You've got to be angry on her behalf rather than sad about what she went through.
The Dreadwolf's wisdom gave way to pride when the world did not meet his standards. Mythal's benevolence gave way to retribution. After all, when kindness fails, the guilty must be punished.
You would know this aspect of Mythal better than anyone. Could you try talking to her?
I dare say she would attack me on sight.
Spirits can't get along with fragments of each other?
Spirits, certainly. But the aspects of a self-righteous god who have walked different paths for ages? One bears the insult of her betrayal by the Evanurus, and then by Solus, as fresh wounds, insult upon injury. The other once fell in love with an Alamari chieftain and lived happily in a swamp for centuries. Each reminds the other that another path existed, that they could have been wrong, and nothing angers Mythal like being wrong.
Nothing angers Mythal like being wrong.
Thank you for the information, Morrigan.
Okay.
I only ask that you reflect upon what I have said.
I'm doing my best to internalize everything you told me. We are going to try and avoid a boss fight by attempting to talk to Mythal. We're going to try and talk Mythal into helping us without a fight. Jagtastic says, still sounds like even if you do the dialogue right, there's still a prove your worth fight. I can tell you this. I am aware of this much. It is possible to avoid this fight entirely. I am aware of that much. It is possible to not have to fight her. With minimal save scumming, lol.
We're getting close to where Morrigan said that other frag.
I mean, we're gonna lay down a manual save here. You know, we're not fools.
And if Mythal was.
Shall we get it right today? We will find out.
It has to be her.
Do you believe she'll be willing to speak with us? Or are we bound for violence?
Guess we'll find out.
You are Rook. I have seen you and your companions. I never thought to see Kunari, who did not yet exist in my time, scurrying about in the Dread Wolf's crossroads. And you know who I am.
Mythal.
The part of me that survived betrayal by the rest of the Evanurus, if this can be called surviving. Solus. He drew me from the dagger that struck me down, but what is left of me can only survive here. I cannot return to the world, and even the true Fade is denied me. All I can do is watch. Why are you here? To beg me to give up what remains of myself to help you defeat the monsters Elganon and Gillenane have become? Or do you simply think yourself ready to fight a god?
I want your help. I want to be open with you. I'm not gonna just assume that you're unwilling. I'll be transparent.
I came here to ask for your help. The gods have endangered the world and...
You dare explain to me what they are doing? You are 1,000 years from knowing the proper words.
Okay.
We saw Solus's memories. His regrets.
You saw the recollection he cultivated like a tree, twisting to catch the sun. You wish for my help? Convince me.
Okay.
Make your case.
Okay.
And I will yield my essence willingly to help you against Elganon and Gillenane. Fail, and I shall kill you for wasting my time, or you will kill me and obtain my essence in doing so. A harder-edged, simpler version. It has been centuries since a petitioner stood before me,
I want the good version.
I
Here.
help you.
We must stop the
If
blight.
I don't stop the gods, the whole world will be corrupted by the blight.
That is why you must succeed, so tell me why I must help you.
We know the truth about the blight. We know it came from the imprisoned dreams of the Titans after you and Solus defeated them.
And?
The blight is your fault. Morrigan said there's nothing that Mythal hates more than being wrong. People will die is, pity, which Mythal hates. You stood against it. That is calling to her, like, we were respecting her. And that she did the right thing in the past.
Stopping the blight mattered enough for you to talk with Solus, even after he rebelled against you. It mattered enough for you to stand against the other gods.
And I was struck down for doing so, betrayed by those I had ruled beside for centuries.
You made the difficult choice to protect your home, because it was the right thing to do. Help me do the same.
Not bad, but not enough. Let us speak of something else.
Okay, we're doing alright so far. We need to stop the gods.
You can't want Elgernon and Gillenane to rule the world. Not after what they did to you.
I ruled alongside them for centuries. I bear them no love now, and they were ever flawed, as all rulers are. Yet the world needs rulers. So set the blight aside and tell me why I should help you topple them.
Put the blight aside suggests that she's wrong for telling me to put the blight aside. She doesn't like to be wrong. We need no gods. Sounds like I don't respect the power that the gods pose. They wronged you. She wants to feel righteous anger, according to Morrigan. And they wronged you. Invokes righteous anger, I think.
What they did to you was wrong.
It could come
And
across
you
as
care
pity,
so
but...
deeply for the injustice done to me thousands of years ago.
You deserve justice. And
Yeah,
you deserve to
yeah.
be punished
Righteous
for misusing
fury.
their power and killing you when you tried to check them.
If you wish to prove your worth, you must do better than that.
We are worthy is arrogant. Forget it, I'll fight you means we're giving up. You still care about Solus.
Solus is helping me.
Solus is using you.
He is.
Besides, why should I esteem the Dreadwolf's approbation? He rebelled against me.
But the two of you stayed close.
Still love him.
Until he killed the tattered fragment of me who hid inside the human swamp witch and wept. You are Kunari, your people bond in different manners than mine. Can you even understand what it is to battle with someone and love them even still? That is what Solus and I are to one another. Tell me this. What should I have done when Solus turned against me after all we had been to one another?
Terra says, I was able to avoid the fight in my playthrough, but I think I got lucky with quests I completed and things my rook was. Yeah, I'm wondering if being an elf, potentially even one that dated Solus and Inquisition, might give you additional options in this to negotiate with Mythal, and if that is the case, that's fucking fascinating. I'm guessing that's the sort of thing you're getting at. Shagtastic, good luck spawning 10 cans of beans every second and seeing how long it is before your game crashes. That sounds hilarious. Enjoy. I'm sorry that happened. That's pity. You should have forgotten him would have suggested you did the wrong thing.
Maybe you should have listened when he warned you about staying on as rulers after the war.
Are you saying I was wrong?
You asked me what you should have done. I can't prove my worth by lying to you. Solus didn't want to manifest a physical body or destroy the Titans. He did things he hated because he cared about you. Supporting you and Elgernon becoming rulers was the one line he wouldn't cross. If someone who followed you everywhere refused to follow you there, what does that say?
Your arguments are compelling. I find you worthy, Rook.
Okay.
I've spent thousands of years watching. I shall miss that. But if what I am can protect the innocent and smite the guilty, This is what remains.
You have a
of me.
unique option as an elf
I
at the
give it
start.
to you freely.
Interesting.
Use it to protect this world
Okay.
with kindness when possible and
So
cunning
curious.
when necessary.
I will. Thank you. The essence of a god. Like a piece of the sun.
Oh, and as a dwarf.
I've never felt something so alive.
So I guess you have one as a dwarf that's like, hey, you owe me. You fucked up my entire species. You kind of owe me. Is that about the vibe of the dwarf one?
So the Dragon Lady came through. Now what?
God knows her moment. At least, her essence does. When the time comes, we'll be ready.
Well...
We did it.
Ooh, that fucking Mage Knight
Got
is
Mythal's
interesting.
For once, a peaceful resolution.
Not sure what we do with it just yet. But if Morrigan's telling the truth, it'll come in handy at some point.
Well, fight avoided. You know what time it is now? Go do some cleanup stuff at the lighthouse. And also, it's momentarily going to be time for Laura's German lesson. You need to have done Harding's companion quest because you talk about her quest. Ah, yeah, okay. Oh, that is interesting, yeah. Ooh, that is interesting. Yeah, Amphigori was like, that was tense. When she was like, are you saying I was wrong? Yeah, I thought we fucked up there. I was like, is that not what we're supposed to say? It does. She doesn't like being told she's wrong, but I guess Solus is the one time she will acknowledge she was wrong.
Ancient power twice recalled from darkness.
Well, let's let Morrigan know we did okay, I guess. Yeah, I guess it might be spoilery to say what the elf option is, I don't know. I feel like if you've seen all of this stuff, I feel like... Look, nothing's too spoilery about this interaction at this point, but... Okay. Does anyone else have more quests for us to pick up? Let's pick up some more companion stuff. Emmerich's got a thing for us. Oh, I think I've got a thing to give to Emmerich. Or maybe he's got a thing for us, I don't know. We'll see.
Ah, hello there. Just admiring how carefully the Fade is woven into this place, as cultivated as a palace garden.
That's old elven stuff for you. Magic everywhere you look, and also where you don't.
I do envy you, Rook.
Really?
I can only imagine what you got up to as one of the fabled crows of Antiva. Not to mention traveling with Varric. The adventures you've already had.
It just kind of seems like my life.
You don't regard anything you've done as singular? Work was always my excuse not to travel. But now that I've joined you, I'm finally exploring outside Navarra's crypts. Ah, speaking of the necropolis.
Yes?
I've been meaning to ask how you'd like your body prepared in the event of your death.
Ooh.
Actually, do they let you into the necropolis if you're not Navarran?
What a splendid idea! I could put a word in.
Yeah, I can hang out with
He's
Manfred.
finished the reagent. Please excuse us. Excellent work, Manfred.
Aww. Hey, I got a gift for you, buddy.
How thoughtful, Rook.
It's pretty cool. Here you go, have a nice statue. Then we've got Harding. Just Harding for now.
Hey, Harding?
Oh, Rook, hi. Is there something you need?
I thought you might want someone to talk to.
Oh, Rook. That's sweet. I'm fine. Really.
Really? Okay. Well, we're all here if you...
Never mind. I can't lie. I feel awful.
It's Solas's memory, isn't it?
They stole Titan blood to walk the world like humans. And when the Titans didn't like that, they just took their spirits. Should I be angry or sad? Why aren't I angrier? It's a lot to handle.
There's really no right way to feel. You've been through a lot.
Terra, I like that all of the characters, their rooms get more full of stuff as time goes on. They slowly move things in and collect things on their journeys, and their rooms become more like homes than just the place where they happen to sleep as the game goes on, and I love it.
Maybe I just need time. And a snack. It's strange. I don't hate Solus for this, even though a part of me thinks I should. I don't even want revenge. We have to stop him. Too much is at stake. We all know that. The Inquisitor, you. I know it's not about the past. It's about the future. But I just want to talk. As equals. I wonder if he's even capable. Solus was always distant. Guess it's hard to react when a magic rock's talking at you. Anyway, thanks for checking on me. I'll be alright.
I know. You're Lace Harding, child of Titans. You can handle anything.
Oh, shut up.
Oh, who did I have a gift for remaining? I'm gonna gift for Lucanus. I think we're almost at the point that I'm probably gonna wrap for today.
Offer, Dweller. I will
level up the workshop. I don't remember what our gift for Lucanus is.
Hey,
We'll
Rook.
find out.
Come to stare into the fire. I've heard that helps people think. Can't say I've had luck with it.
For me?
Oh, it's a fancy teapot. There you go, buddy. Right, I think this is where we are going to wrap up. Actually, do I have any cool... Let's have a cool dragon skull in our base. That looks pretty rad. Tara says, thanks for the stream. Appreciate having a place I can info dump and exchange theories and themes about this game. That's a big part of why I wanted to stream through it. I've wanted a place to talk about this game and where I can know what is safe for me to talk about in spoiler contexts and not, and to go through this with other people that I can chat about it with. But yes, I think we're going to wrap up for here. I'll be back on Monday with some more Dragon Age: The Veilguard. Have a good rest of your day. I'm going to go get some... I'm going to do my German and then get some sleep.